What do you think about Rehoboth Beach, Delaware?
The beer is really good. No, I like it. This is my first time. What a cool little beach town and awesome. We love racing in Dover, but I'll be honest, I haven't experienced the beach, obviously, near enough. So I might have to come a day early for this next Dover race.
Well, let me just tell you, I grew up here, and you got the right stops right over here. There's Thrasher's French Fries. There's Core Brothers Custard, and remember I was telling you about Dolly's Saltwater Taffy and Popcorn?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be a real hit with Ellen, Leo, and Mama when you take that home tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one would like it more, Mama or the kids, but absolutely, I might have to stop there before we leave.
And lest we forget, Sam Calgione's here, the official welcoming ambassador for Jeff Gordon. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us. We've had a great day, showing Jeff the brewery, but also downtown. We didn't make any speed records getting from Milton, Delaware to downtown Rehoboth here in August.
How much product was sampled over at the headquarters?
Well, I wasn't driving, so I would say it was just the right amount.
It's kind of cool because, Jeff also has a wine business, and we make a bunch of beers that actually use grapes as an ingredient. So learning how deep his knowledge is outside of racing and in his love of great beverages was kind of a nice afternoon as well.
Yeah, all it did was make me realize that I should have been making beer instead of wine.
Well, it's a great resort city we have here, and obviously Jeff is in town to promote the AAA 400 race weekend, which is coming up at the end of September, and got a lot of good tickets still available. Got tickets going out the door, so hopefully we'll have weather like this, and it'll be a great weekend of racing. We'll talk about Dover a little later on. I want to talk to you about last weekend and that monstrous restart that gave you win number 3, pal. What is going on there with you and these restarts here?
That was for all my fans that have been ripping me about restarts for like the last 5 years. You know what? One is I hear you. And 2 is, what a race car and race team I have right now. It's just so much fun to go to the racetrack and have the kind of cars that give me this confidence and making me look good. I was at the shop yesterday telling these guys, you're making me look good, and this is what a great team does, right? They're like, no, you're making our cars look good. No, you make me look good. And so we just kept going back and forth. But you know what? In order to win races and in order to be a threat for this championship, you got to get yourself in those positions and make it count. And I'm proud of my team for giving me a race car to get in that position, and I'm proud that I was able to pull off that kind of restart.
I don't know if you're hearing the scuttlebutt around the garage, but I've heard that the championship will be decided between the 24 and the 88 this year.
The first thing comes to mind is ratings. Only thing I'm thinking of is who we're going to throw in the mix to be the rivalry. Because now me and Dale are teammates. I can't say we're really rivals, but those guys have been running amazing. I mean, what a stellar year Dale Jr., Steve Letarte, those guys are having. And I applaud them. And really, Hendrick Motorsports is setting the bar. Penske is really, really strong. Stuart Haas is strong. So, man, I just hope, I would love nothing more than it to come down to me, Junior, and a couple of those other guys down there at Homestead.
Oh, please. Please, you've got to have the garage wadded up. All that horsepower coming out of that Hendrick shop right now.
Oh, you sound like a Ford Penske driver right now.
No. Actually, Denny Hamlin said
that's our Toyota drivers, right? I really should say.
Denny Hamlin said we're 50 horsepower down to Hendrick, and of course the powers that be at Toyota's like, no, we're not.
Yeah, I love it when you say that. All you do is you throw your engine builders and your manufacturer right under the bus. They love that. So all I can say is right now, Chevy and Hendrick we're not hurting them straight away.
Oh, they're not hurting at all. Now, what's it like sitting next to this guy here? He likes your product, see, this is the big guy in Delaware when you're not here.
That's right, and he's the local rock star. I have a feeling he's a rock star far beyond Delaware.
He's one of the best brewmasters in the world as far as we're concerned here in Delaware.
Yeah, we had some great talks earlier today. yeah, you know, as far as how far Jeff's history goes back in this state, we were just recounting on the bus. The first time he showed up to have crabs at Sambo's, they didn't let him in because he was too young. That's how long he's been part of, you know, Delaware's race culture.
Oh yeah, no, I've loved racing here for a number of years. It's a great place, and we have some of the best fans, you know, in the whole country that love to watch the races at Dover. So hopefully we're putting on a good race there this time. I mean, those high banks, it gets exciting there.
It does.
It's what we're here for.
That's right. Here to get the win. And I've been trying to spread the word across the NASCAR community. You go to Kansas City and they have Maryland-style crab cakes. Please, I beg you. There's only one place in the world you can get this stuff. It's crabs. I walked into Sambo's one night and I was like, holy cow, look at Gordon go. Had the shells flying and then the mallet going. And
I'll be honest, the first 10 years I was in the sport, you know, I didn't quite understand all the hype and everybody saying, got to go to Sambo's. And I'd been there once or twice once I became of age. And then the last, I'd say 6 or 8 years, it's a religion for me. I mean, I have to go. It's to me, if I go to Dover and I don't go there, it's just not the same.
Well, Elva's putting out an APB on us if we don't go in there at least once a weekend. We have Gary, who is out here in the long sleeve blue shirt and very tall gentleman with a microphone.
He is beach
very handsome.
wear ready.
That's right.
You didn't say handsome.
He's dressed for the beach.
But also, Gary's from Dover Downs, who hosts our race
Right.
for NASCAR. Let's give it up for Dover Downs.
Gary is the director of public relations. Do I have your? Or is it director of
close
corporate
enough.
communications?
Yeah, sure.
He's the PR guru at Dover.
That's right.
So he does a
You
great
have
job of
any
helping us.
complaints? You just see
No.
He's walking around with a wireless mic. If you have a question, throw your hand up. Gary's your guy. And question number 1 comes from this young lady right here.
I'm Michelle Collins from Seaford, Delaware.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jeff. My question is, who do you think is the dirtiest driver that you race against?
The dirtiest. Do they have to be on the track right now? Because Robbie Gordon was definitely at the top of my list. Dirtiest driver.
Well, we could do
driver.
past and present if you like.
Come on now.
No, Clint Boyer's not the dirtiest driver. He just messed with the wrong guy at the wrong time. Dirtiest driver. Gosh.
I don't think this is an auction. I think this is just his take.
No, I'm not trying to be politically correct at all, but these days I just haven't.
Does it change from week to week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, depends on who's the last person that just ran into me. I think out of respect for older people, they seem to be like not running into me as much. 43, because I'm 43 now. No, I'm just saying that I don't know. I'm getting more respect as an older statesman in the sport. They just don't seem to run into me like they used to when I was younger. Like, you know, between Ernie Irvin and
Dale Earnhardt.
Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt Sr. Rusty was definitely the dirtiest driver I ever raced with. So. And it's not because he was dirty. He just didn't like me. Still doesn't like me.
And we're here. Wait, anyone that gets a question asked, you get a hat from us. So
There you go.
I have a great one here. Here, step up so everybody
There we
can
go.
see you. This fella's name is Jeffrey Williams Gordon.
What?
Or is it Gordon?
Yeah. So I need to go back and tell my mom she messed up my middle name.
Jeff, it's great being Jeff Gordon here in Delaware. That's all I can tell you.
That's awesome.
It's a great icebreaker with people.
What is it like being
Yeah,
Jeff
right.
Gordon? I
Does
want to know.
DuPont send you free paint is all we want to know.
I don't abuse the privilege, I promise you. Jeff, you got your 91st win at Michigan, which is incredible. I'm wondering if you think 100 is achievable, and basically how many years more you hope you can drive.
Well, if I continue to drive cars like I've been driving this year, then 100 is attainable. But I've always just looked at it one at a time. And I mean, it just seems like it was yesterday when I won the first race in Charlotte back in '94. Yet it's been 20 years. And I honestly don't know where they've all come from. It just, that number is just unbelievable to me. And when I think of guys like Richard Petty and David Pearson, and the fact that I'm third, among some of the all-time greats in NASCAR at 91, blows my mind. So to me, I hope I get a chance to experience 92. And if we get to 92, I hope we get to experience 93. But I'm not really thinking about 100 until I get to 99. But I hope we get there. That'd be fun.
Well, I got news for you. The way you're running, I think 100 is attainable. I think you could get Pearson at 115. Seriously.
Isn't it 105?
Or, I'm sorry, 105.
I was going to say, who's counting? Who's counting?
No, oh, come on, that's another one. 9. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do math that well. As you can tell. Gary?
Hi, my name's James Pettit. I'm from Lincoln, Delaware. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, we want to know, did the owners pick the number 24 for your car, or did you do? And if that's the case, does the number 24 have any significance?
Well, it sure does now. I've been driving it for 20 plus years, so I can't think of driving anything different. To my knowledge, I don't think the 24 car had any prior wins, before it was at Hendrick Motorsports. But I wish I had a more sexy and exciting answer for you. Rick Hendrick had 2 teams, 5 and 25. He looked at all the numbers around the 5 and around the 25, so he first looked at 4 and 6. They were taken. He looked at 24, 26. 26 was taken. 24 was the magic number. And that's where it came from. And so the car owner. Now the car owners don't own those numbers. NASCAR actually owns the numbers. We're just kind of, it's on lend. As long as we have a race team, then we get to have that 24. Now Jimmy Johnson, 48, we came up with that because double 24. So that's where that came about.
All right, we have a question right over here from these 2 ladies. Well, we have 2 questions.
Hi, Jeff. I'm Cherry. How
Hi.
are you?
Hi, Jerry.
If you don't win the cup this year, are you going to retire next
Who
year?
in the world? It's if. No.
You beat me to death to ask him a question, and that's the question you're going to ask? What's wrong with you?
This is live Twitter. This is what this is, live Twitter. If you had tweeted that, it would just been times like 1,000. It's when and it's if and when I win the championship. I just call it quits while I'm on top. That's what it is. No, seriously. I'm having the time of my life at 43, enjoying the victories and the season that we're having with my wife and my 2 beautiful children and a great team. Why would I ever want to stop that?
Well, that's right.
So unless my back just all of a sudden gives out, like when Homestead's over, because I celebrated too much.
Well, it could when you go to do that big trophy,
I'm gonna lift that trophy up. So if we get it, we're gonna lift it up.
Can we have it too? Hey Jeff, I'm Carol.
No, you have to let me do this.
Oh, hey Jeff, I'm Carol. I'm born and raised in Milton. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sam, for everything you do for the town of Milton.
Give a big shout for Milton.
Milton's in the house.
I've got a question. Have you and Sam had any talks about maybe putting the Dogfish Head logo on the side of your car?
Well, Sam, I got news
What's
for
your
you,
sports
son.
marketing budget, Sam?
I don't think we can hang with that. We're
How
still
many commas are in that marketing budget you got, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know that we can hang with that, but it was a cool moment to tie things together. When Jeff started racing at 5, his machine was a lot smaller than what it is now. And showing him our original 10-gallon brewery today, and our humble roots as the smallest brewery in the country that opened right down this road. There's a lot of symmetry there, but we also had a great moment over here at the brew pub. We're running rum up there right now, and we have a little distillery up there.
Not NASCAR running.
but I think the guy's name's Junior Johnson, who's a legend from the Carolinas, who really came out of rum running to really get NASCAR kicked off. And our heritage at Dogfish is pretty similar, not just a brewery, we're a distillery, so it's a cool moment. Maybe someday we'll have the logo of our rum company on the side of one of Jeff's cars.
If I had to predict based on what I saw today, it will happen one day.
How many states is the product available in? 20?
We're in like, I think, 31 states, our beers, yep.
Wow.
Most strong locally.
Next up, Gary.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Stand up so we can see you. There we go.
Hi, Alex from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. What advice do you have for younger drivers coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, all different ages, because I started when I was racing about 5.5, racing quarter midgets. I think quarter midgets is a great way to get started at that age. And then there's all kinds of options out there between go-karts and there's all kinds of different little mini sprints and bandoleros and so many options that I didn't have when I was 12 or 13 years old. So my thing is, obviously you have to start as a family. It starts so young that you have to have either a close friend or family member that's going to introduce you to it or start you with it. So get into something that's safe, that's sanctioned and organized, because that's not only going to keep it safe and fun, but it's going to make sure you're in the right class at the right stages and you progress at the right level, so that you're learning as you go and progressing to the right level to get you where you really need to be, which I'm guessing you'd say is NASCAR. So good luck.
Guessing by your T-shirt.
We've got a question down here from this young man. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian, what's your question for Jeff?
Where is Leo?
If he was here, he'd want to play with you, I guarantee it. Leo had his first day of school today. So my daughter had her first day in first grade yesterday. So I dropped her off at first grade today. My wife dropped off Leo at TK, and then I got on the plane and flew up
Now,
here.
wait a minute. Now, you're here at the beach chilling with us. That means Mama had to get the kids, well, first of all, get them to bed, and then get them up this morning and yesterday morning.
No, come on now. Listen here. Now, I might be a dad that's not home on the weekends very often, but during the week, I'm all about dad. So, yeah.
So you were home in time to get them out of bed, get them on the road?
Oh, yeah. So put them to bed last night, and, well, now it's dog walking at 6:15, then it's get the kids up at 6:30 and get them fed at around 6:45, 7. My daughter's going to be at school at 7:50. So I'm not saying I do all that on my own, but between me and my wife, we do a pretty good job of it. But no, listen, if I don't do that during the week, I don't get to come home on Sunday.
Gary, what do you got for us?
How fast do you go? How fast do you go?
How fast do you go?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I just happened to have a pretty fast car this past weekend, and we qualified at 206.5 miles per hour. I think that was a top speed of around 216, 217 at the end of the straightaway. Obviously, that means it didn't slow down much in the corner, so it's pretty fast. Great question.
Man. Let's go over here and...
Is it weird that I'm sending up brewery hats to little children?
Isn't that against the law in some states?
Kids love it.
Not nowhere, people.
I got a
T-shirt.
I
What's your question?
When you're on the road, would you rather people go slow or go fast, like you?
You know what?
Safe question.
Honestly, I love this question, because my pet peeve, it's not about how fast you're going. It's knowing that if you look in the mirror and somebody's behind you, just get out of their way. Just move over.
What about people who just ride in the left lane?
That's what I'm talking
Is that
about.
what you're talking about? Yeah.
That is, to me, there's nothing worse than riding in the left lane. I don't care what speed you're doing.
Right.
If you're doing 100 and the person behind you is doing 101,
Move it.
move over.
That's right.
If you're doing 45, you shouldn't even be on the road. If it's a 55 or 65 mile per hour zone.
Well, what's your question?
I would love for people to do that on the racetrack, but that's not going to happen.
What's your question?
Slap past it. How much last lap passes does he have?
How many lap? Okay, well,
2. Well, no, they weren't last lap. I don't know. That's a great question. We're going to have to bring out the statistician back here.
How many last lap passes does he have?
Any idea?
Enough. That's good. That's
Okay.
good. Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay.
We'll work on that.
calm
We'll
down.
try to tweak
Who
that
do
one
I
out.
need to pick? Come here. I know. I've heard. Okay. Now, first news. You've been here since 10:30. Now you've been here since 9:30.
I got a question for him. How does it feel to go from the kid to the old man?
Wow.
It's a progression. It's a progression. The gray hairs as they come, I look in the mirror every day, I realize I'm getting older. But I'll be honest, if somebody had told me when I was 22 that this is what 43 be like, I would have said, send me straight there. 43 has been awesome. I'm loving it.
Well, I got news for you. This is what 44 will get you right here.
I'm heading that direction, I promise you. Not all of us are blessed with a head of hair like Sammy.
I know, right? My goodness.
Must be the beer. Is that what I got to drink more beer?
Bottoms up.
What did someone or something inspire you to start racing?
That's a great question. So my mom and my stepdad, who introduced me to quarter midget racing when I was living in California, I guess my stepdad, when he was younger, someone in his neighborhood or a friend of his got a chance to race quarter midgets, and he wanted to do it, but his parents just didn't really feel like it was necessary, or they didn't have an interest in it. My dad's always loved cars, so when he married my mom and I was very young, he said, I'm going to do everything I can to create opportunities for my stepchildren. And when I was 5, he brought home a quarter midget for me and my sister. And my sister regrets it every day. She says, I could have been Danica Patrick. And yet, luckily, it stuck with me.
Let me...
Danica's awesome. Yeah, she's cool. She's very cool. I love her.
If you ever have a chance to meet her, she's probably one of the coolest people you ever meet.
Oh, she's very cool.
She's wide open.
And I'm going to tell you what, the transition to go from open wheel, rear engine, high downforce Indy cars, and then come to NASCAR. And I tell you what, if you want to measure Danica's success, measure every other open wheel driver that's ever made the transition to NASCAR. And I'm going to tell you what, she's done a pretty good job. So I give her credit.